Hey guys, welcome to the weekly roundup. This is January 12th, our second week of doing this. Remember to please hit that subscribe button, drop a like and a comment. Let us know what your top pick of the weeks are in comics. And remember to subscribe to us on and subscribe and follow to us on Instagram at Vinyl Casket Comics, Omni City Comics, and Manny Reads Comics. We will be getting into the awesome show we have for you guys with our top 3 picks of comics for the week, our most disappointing moment in comics, and our top covers for this week. Then we'll end the show with talking about what we're going to pick up next week. We'll start off real quick by taking a look at our brackets from week 1. There's only 1 week worse so far,
Pretty
but
empty.
that's it. Okay. So with that being said, I guess I'll jump into my number 3 pick of the week, right, guys?
Yep.
Let's hear it, man.
Okay, so I am gonna go with Harley Quinn animated series Eat Bang Kill Tour issue 5 with that sick card stock. Holy crap! This is one of the most fun series I think by the big two that is out right now. It is just hilarious. The drawing style mimics the shows, the HBO Max shows, animation style, spot on. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's entertaining. This issue had really funny stuff with Cyborg and Vixen, and it was just really good. It was a really good issue, and was a lot of fun. And that's why it's my number 3 pick.
Carlos, did you read that?
I did. I'm pulling the series because I love the show so much that I had to have something hold me over until the new season comes out. And just like Nick was saying, it lives up to how hilarious and just how good the show is. What's surprising though is that it's not just fun, but there's also some like really heartfelt moments and some really good like character exploration. And this issue particularly looks into Ivy's like into Ivy's state of mind and how she's feeling, you know, just after the whole breakup with Kite Man and just dealing with a lot of psychological issues that she's had.
Wait, she just broke up with Kite Man?
No, well, huh?
I just figured that would have happened like in issue 1 or something, but
no, so like
it's been a reoccurring thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like there's a lot. She like still feels guilty because she's with Harley, and like they did it early on, like that a couple episodes where she like dived into Harley's mind. Now like she's diving into her own mind, and there's like different versions of Harley as like the Doctor as Quinzel, like guiding her through her mental progression.
Yep.
The problem, my problem that I have with this series potentially is that the next season is just a copy of the issues that we're getting, and I would hate that. I would hate that. I want it to be something different. I don't want to watch what I've already read.
Wait, but I thought that when the show was when this series was announced was that it was gonna take in between the middle of the season that just ended and the new one that's starting.
I never read anything about the announcement. I just kind of picked it up when it came out. So I don't know that. I just don't want that. That would potentially be a turnoff for me.
For our viewers, Carlos is our research guy, so he pretty much knows everything about everything. And so
he's got every cover. You know where you get the cover, who has the cover, when you're gonna get the cover.
Well, Nick, to alleviate those fears, man, don't worry about it.
We're good. We're good. It's gonna be very confusing for people that hop onto the show and they didn't read the book, though.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how they tackle it. I think that they might do a really hilarious, like, I don't know, like recap of what happened in the comic book, because we've seen some hilarious like cold opens. Yeah, and it'd be really funny if they like replayed everything that happened in the series that's out right now. But I agree, this series has been absolutely amazing, and I'm not gonna lie, it was contender in being number 3 for me as well, just because of how good this issue was. But yeah, agree.
Wait, are you
Um,
saying so, Nick? I remember talking through the group chat. Like, you said it was hard to pick a top 3. I thought you meant like it was hard because they all sucked.
No, it was
Like,
hard because I thought I had a lot of books. I only had like 9 books this week, and they
Yeah.
were all really close.
I honestly thought we were on the same wavelength because my books.
No, because I
It
told
was
you you
tough
had
'cause
no
they were
idea what
all-
you were talking about, and you had no taste.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't understand why you
We'll
would think
let
we're
the
on the same
viewers decide.
wavelength
We'll
if
let
that
the
was
viewers-
the following message.
Carlos, what's your number
Um,
3?
my number 3 is Dark Ages number 4.
Okay.
The Simply put, this is just an absolutely fun book, man. I'm really enjoying this alternate universe, and just seeing so many characters doing or just being in different situations, and seeing again this alternate version of them. I mentioned before that I'm a sucker for alternate realities. I love seeing relationships or character progression that we don't see and that we'll probably never see in the main Marvel continuity. So it was a lot of fun seeing Storm married to Black Panther again, to T'Challa, and them having a daughter. Like that was really fun to see, man. And I just loved how much of a badass Storm was in this issue.
All right.
Like, she is basically spearheading the entire like naval fleet, or like the naval army, right? Of like the we'll call them, I guess rebellion against Apocalypse. And it's just really cool seeing all of the heroes work together, to take on Apocalypse. And one of the dopest scenes in this book, and just random, was seeing Ant-Man basically like riding Fang Foom, and like taking down the Ghost
Ghost
Rider
Rider.
pirates. Yeah, everything about Dark Ages is just insane. It's wild, but it never feels silly. It just feels badass. And I was really happy to see that May snuck onto the helicarrier ship, and I'm hoping that she's gonna get a lot of more, I guess, time, and we get to see her just kick ass with Peter. And yeah, this has just been a really fun series. Can't say enough good things about Ivan Coelho's art. It's spot on. It continues to be great, and yeah, fantastic book. That's why it's my number 3 pick.
All
It
right.
was so close for me.
Yeah, that was my number 4 pick.
Yeah, it probably would. The opening scene with Nightcrawler, fantastic. The way all the X-Men characters were like portrayed in this issue were great. I think the art style and the way they're characterizing everybody is great. And I'll say it again, I like to see these characters that we love and read every week be portrayed as older versions of themselves. I told you guys I love the MC2.
I
I
just feel
love
like
the
it's shock
MC2.
value. All of this is gonna be shock value. Like, oh, look at what's happening. Look who died. Look who blah blah blah. Like, it's just an alternate story because you can do whatever you want, which is great.
Yeah, but like I like seeing the characters as matured older versions of themselves because we've been seeing them as the same age for 30
we're
years.
gonna watch them die too.
I'm okay with that. I'm literally okay with that. Okay. But
Like,
another thing I'm gonna just put out there before I'm done talking is this is another shock. I'm gonna count it every time in this show. We're gonna start a tally. We're gonna have to have a counter. Another win for Tom Taylor. I'm telling you, by the end of the year, Tom Taylor is gonna have like 100 like top 3 appearances in this series. Because I can only imagine where Nightwing's gonna go. And I'm telling you, he dominates Elseworld stories.
Yeah.
I really just like the fact that May showed up. Like, I do love her, and I do love the costume designs that they showed at the end. That was really cool.
That was great.
But like the fact that May showed up, and you brought it up, Carlos, in our group chat. Peter's gonna die. Peter, and I don't want to see that. I don't. That's my boy.
No,
I know.
And he's gonna die.
I'm not ready.
if Tom Taylor is gonna like honor us, he's just gonna lose his leg.
Tom Taylor kills people left and right. Don't even.
Yeah, but it'd be
don't
really
even try to
funny if he
act like that doesn't
mimicked the
happen.
MC2 and he just loses his leg.
No.
And he's like walking around like on a mechanical leg.
R.I.P.
I
Peter Parker.
have absolute
Ben Riley's gonna show up.
zero. I have zero confidence that Peter is going to survive this. Like there is no. Peter is not going back to MJ, and that's going to crush me. So I'm already like preparing myself for that because I agree with you, Manny. You know what? I actually believed that Peter was going to die before May even got onto the ship. Issue number 1, when I saw Peter, being the I guess, the narrator, right, of the whole story. The moment that I saw that, I knew I knew that he wasn't gonna make it, and now May being on the ship is just that last stamp of,
You're done. You're done.
He's done, man.
No,
He's
I
done.
whenever like May didn't show up to say goodbye to him, I was like, all right. So if May at the very last minute says like, "Oh, Dad, I'm here, goodbye," he's gonna die. But the fact that she didn't do it, I was like, oh, okay, that means that he might return so he could see his daughter again. And then when she showed up on the boat, I was like, he's dead. He's done. R.I.P.
Yep.
Like, I'll see you later.
Yep.
But moving on, my number
Yeah.
3. You guys, you got DC, you got Marvel. I went with, I think it's Image. I want to say it's Image. What's the furthest place from here?
Image.
If
Oh,
it's
Yeah.
not
I
Image,
think it's
yeah, it's
Image.
Yeah.
Yeah. Image.
This one, it's
What
weird.
what issue is that?
This is number 3, I think.
3. Yeah.
It's weird that it's my top pick because I'm pissed off at it, honestly. Everyone, are you guys reading this at all?
No,
I
I
am.
missed issue 1 and my shop doesn't have it. I gotta go find issue 1.
Okay, all right. Well, so I don't want to like go too deep into spoilers. I'm still gonna spoil it, but but I don't want to go too deep. But basically, everybody is an idiot. Everyone has a very, and I mean that in the truest sense. Like they have a very childlike sense of a mind. Like they don't
Because
think.
they're children.
They don't have that common sense. They are all children. And I told you guys that I think one of my theories is that this is just like a book of that, like there's a couple people called the strangers that they don't know what they're doing. And in my book, I think that the strangers are just adults, and that's just how kids see them, But
Yeah.
no, like in this book, there's this guy named Proofrock, and everything he does is just idiotic. Honestly, everything is just emotional. It's the topmost feeling in his brain, so he does it. And in this book, he actually catches one of the strangers. No one knows what a stranger is. The strangers provide food. This is why I think they are adults. Like strangers provide food, they provide shelter, and they keep all the other families in line. Basically, everyone in line. But he captures one of them, and they were like, "Whoa, how'd you capture him?" And he just holds up this cane. And he's like, I beat him with his cane. and he's so proud of it. And one of the main characters, Alabama, she's like, oh, I never thought about doing that. And I was like, that's just what? Like,
who would have thought about doing that?
But that was one of the, like, they don't know what's going on. They're idiotic. I have no idea what is going on. The main premise of the story is that they're trying to search for this one of their family members, Sid, who she left on her own accord. She's pregnant, but nobody knows that. Nobody realizes that she's pregnant. They're just like,
except wait, doesn't sorry to interrupt, but the one person that knows, isn't it Proofrock?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like we don't know. That's the mystery. Like Proofrock knows something, and he keeps going back to like a night with her or something. So Proofrock might be the dad. This one guy that showed up in the first episode or the first issue might be the dad. But it's just there's a mystery, and that's why literally the mystery is what pushed it to the number 3 spot. Because like as pissed off as I am, I want to know what's going on. And the last thing is just that the whole strangers aspect is very creepy. At the end of this book, a whole bunch of strangers show up. So like I'm ready to see what's gonna happen with number 4. I think it's only gonna be 5 issues. So it's like everything's building up, and so that's why it's my number 3 pick of the week.
Yep.
awesome. I haven't gotten it yet. My shop has been having issues with indie titles. Like I have no indies this week because I would have gotten that new Buffy book, but
oh, you haven't read that yet? Damn.
I got issue 1. I haven't gotten issue 2 because he said it's coming, and I promised him I would wait instead of going to another shop on them. So
another thing that I really like about like What's the Furthest Place is that it just every time I read it, every time I see it, I just think about like British pop rock.
Yeah.
Like I think of what's the Ramones. I just think that I just hear them playing in the background the whole time. It's just a fun book, but I want to see what happens, and that's why it's my number 3.
Yeah, you know, I really have to agree with everything that you mentioned. I'm enjoying it. Don't want to spoil too much because Nick, you haven't read it, and you're planning on.
You can spoil it as much as you want. I'm gonna still love it when I read it either way.
Spoil.
Well, yeah, you know, yeah.
You already told me about the guy getting hit with a cane. I don't really care after that.
Right.
I hit him with a stick.
The one thing that I hope about this book is that the strangers really don't end up being adults. You know,
I feel like that's gonna happen.
And because if that does end up happening, I'm just gonna be disappointed. Like I don't want some.
What do you think they're gonna be? What would you want them to be?
I'm hoping. I don't want them to be like aliens. If they're adults, I guess that's fine. But I'm hoping that they're not, you know, just normal kind of adults. I hope that it has something to do with what happened to the world, at the very least, man, and that there's, you know, some kind of explanation for that, at least. But they are creepy as hell.
Nick, before you do your number 2, I will say that this is my prediction. It's gonna be like Rugrats, basically. Like they are just little babies making up their own fucking world, and then the strangers are adults that do their own thing. Like I've lost control of my life, kind of thing.
It's gonna be Peanuts, where the adults can't actually speak English.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm picturing. Yeah.
All right, my number 2 pick of the week. We're going with some Marvel. We're doing issue 1 of Daredevil, Woman Without Fear. Don't shake your head at me, Manny. I don't care what you said. This book was awesome. First off, artwork, phenomenal. Chip Zdarsky's writing, on point. I love the development. I love the mixture and the balance and the pacing here between what was going on and then flashbacks that jump into different time periods to really develop her and like kind of lay the groundwork for what she's experiencing because of all the Devil's Reign stuff. If you don't know, this series is set within the Devil's Reign event. It's really fun. It's really detailed, really emotional. There's a good amount of action also packed in there. The way they draw Daredevil was really, really interesting, and I liked it. I really liked how these characters were depicted. I liked the way the story was set up. I really enjoyed pretty much everything about this book. There wasn't a single thing I could think of that really turned me off in any way, shape, or form. And that's why it's my number 2 pick of the week.
You know, I will say it's not a disappointment, but like I do miss Elektra's hair from like the actual Daredevil run. I forgot who the artist was. Checchetto?
Marco Checchetto. Yeah.
Marco Checchetto, there you go. Like her hair, I was like, her hair is just like a regular old whatever, you know, and I miss it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's why it's realistic, because people can change their hair whenever they want.
That's true.
If you guys don't know, actually, because I'm talking about it. Devil's Reign, the event that's happening in Marvel Comics right now, through the Daredevil and all these tie-in titles, is basically Kingpin is currently mayor of New York. He just got married to Typhoid Mary. He realized that there's something being kept from him and that he knows Daredevil's identity, but he can't remember it because of things, Purple Man and stuff like that. So now he's going on a rampage and turning the city of New York against all the heroes, which a majority of the Marvel heroes are located in New York City, which makes a a huge problem for all of them. That basically it's the Superhuman Registration Act, except you don't have to register. You just can't be a hero.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's basically what's going on and the events that tie into this book.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I gotta start off by saying that the art, I gotta talk about the art, man. It was just really good. The artist, it's so good. The artist Iguara, I can't really think of wait, no, sorry.
No, it was
Notori.
D.
Yeah. Notori. I haven't experienced much of his art, I have to say, but it was just phenomenal, man. And I was afraid that I wasn't gonna enjoy the art because Marco Gicello's art has been just absolutely amazing, man. Like, yeah. But Nick, I have to agree, the whole book was just put together so well. And
So well, and I can't wait for the next couple issues. It's 3 issues?
3 issues, yeah.
Only 3.
And
I can only imagine what he has planned.
Yeah. And flashbacks, sometimes I'm a little weary about them being used in a comic book because you only have so many pages, but it just fits so well with the narrative. And that's Elektra coming, to face with a lot of her past. Really well. And Manny, like you mentioned, yes, we have gotten a lot of her past. We know that she has a troubled past, but to me, this issue just adds more layers to that, and it adds a new twist, I guess, to her beginning relationship with Matt, and it was to recruit him for the Hand. And that's what Kingpin is doing right now in his rampage against heroes. He basically has collected this treasure trove of secrets, of blackmail, of information, of just so much data on not only his enemies but allies, and all of the heroes are getting caught in the crossfire. So I think that it's gonna set up, this conflict between Elektra and Matt, and I'm hoping that we're gonna see some really good storytelling out of this. But yeah, man, it was just a great issue.
Manny, it's Marvel Comics. All they do is reuse storylines over and over and over again.
It was my 10 out of 12 pick. So
all right, Carlos, what's your number 2?
My number 2 pick is another Marvel book, man. Like another big 2 book. I gotta say, had we started this show, honestly, for the last 3 months, it would have been indie book after indie book after indie book.
Which is the weirdest thing, because I was expecting both these episodes to just to be Carlos with indie books.
Yeah,
he's a phony, man. He's a poser.
Anyway. You know what? I am. But my number 2 pick is Death of Doctor Strange: Bloodstone.
What?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Go ahead. Sorry.
That's my number 2 pick. Now, I knew that I was gonna enjoy it because I've always really liked Elsa Bloodstone. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. Tini Howard and Ig Guara, now I got the artist right, put together a really good book, man. And I enjoyed it because it was a concise introduction in a way to the Bloodstone family for people that have never read them. You get a really nice summary of who they are, what they're all about, why they're important to the Marvel Universe, and you get a good amount of their, like I mentioned, background story. The pacing was great. The action sequences were awesome. The character interactions and the dialogue was fun. And the big reveal and the big premise of this story is that with Doctor Strange being dead, there's pacts among sorcerers that are pretty much not being upheld. And because of that, there are monsters that are being released into the world, or demons. And that's how Elsa Bloodstone ties into this whole event, because she is the top monster hunter of the Marvel Universe. One of the pacts that was broken was that Elsa and her brother Cullen, their father Ulysses, he had made a kind of pact to gain like ultimate power, but he sacrificed his firstborn, which is Lyra Bloodstone, who were introduced to this issue. And this happened centuries ago. And I know that there was a lot of hype around her, but she's a really fun character, man. She's hilarious. I really like the premise of her powers. Instead of being a magic user or being like a sorcerer, which we've just, have so many of those in the Marvel universe, her thing is that she eats magic. She hates magic because due to magic, she was trapped for centuries. And that gives her like a really interesting background, right? And the fact that she can like eat magic and when she's hungry, she needs to eat like artifacts. She needs to absorb magic. She's a great addition to the Bloodstone, team of hunting down monsters. But the pacing was good. The art was amazing. We get a great new character out of this, and it actually ties into the theme of what's happening in the world now that Doctor Strange is gone. So that's why it's my number 2 pick.
So I agree, like all of that. Like Lyra is very original to that sense of the fact that she eats magic and she's all that. But what threw me off from this book and why it's like not even close to anywhere in my top 5 is because they just accepted her. They were just like, "Oh, you're a Bloodstone. Yeah, there's nothing suspicious here. You're my sister. That's it. Come on in. You're part of the family. Come on in. Come on."
Wait.
Why are you so skeptical about everything?
They do mention it.
But they also there's like, yeah, but we're gonna forget that.
Like, I don't know, man. This seems a little fishy. But hey, ultimately, she did end up
suspicious. I am still suspicious to this day.
Dude, it's been like 3 days.
She did help him out. She finally helped Cullen get rid of Glartrox.
But why?
We don't know. But as of now,
exactly, we don't know. I'm just saying they were suspicious of her, and I appreciated that. But then by the end of the book, they were like, "You are my sister. You're a family. You are welcome as a Bloodstone." And it's like, she helped you with one fight. Come on, like, just be suspicious. Be suspicious. All right, that's all I care.
Yeah, but this is the same event that gave us freaking that Blade book that was trash.
It was a better tie-in than the last Death of Doctor Strange tie-ins, all of them. So it is the best.
I really liked the Silver Fox.
Hold on. Except Death of Doctor Strange, Spider-Man. That one's still top. One's still
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, you're right. That one's gonna be number 1 out of all of them for sure.
But just the least fan of Ben Reilly just said that about a Ben Reilly story,
because they got me to care about Ben Reilly. Like that's how good that was. I like it. No,
Silver Fox was great too. Was it Silver Fox? Or?
Stop, man. White Fox.
Dude, it's so
First of all, that's how bad it is. You can't even remember her name.
Fox.
It's White Fox.
White Fox. I'm thinking of Silver Stable.
Sure. Whatever.
I keep thinking of that it's Silver Stable because the color palette. But that book, that was my favorite one so far. Spider-Man's right there. Like, it's like inch.
This is why we don't listen to you, man. Like,
but that's my favorite so far. I was iffy on picking this up, and I didn't. I might pick it up just to read it. And I'm iffy about the one coming out next week with X-Men and Black Knight.
That's probably gonna be horrible.
I don't think I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get the Devil's Reign X-Men.
Yeah,
for sure.
So to go into my number 2, which I'm not trying to flex my my indie book anything I hear, but it's Mighty Morphin by Boom Studios, and I'm not gonna go too deep into it because Carlos hasn't caught up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers yet. But I will say, 1, I have never seen the Dragon Zord move the way it does in this book. Like, oh my god, the art is amazing. Literally, do you know? You watched or you played Mortal Kombat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 100%.
You know Liu Kang's famous signature move.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Imagine Dragon Zord
There's no way,
and Liu Kang mixed together. It's beautiful. We get a beautiful fight between. I'm not going to tell you, but we get a beautiful fight between these two solid characters in the Power Rangers universe. You know both of them, but it's a great fight, and it's not only just like a good fight between these two, what are they called, powerhouses. It's an emotional fight too, and one of them, of course, is being stupid and not thinking. And you would think that they would be smarter than this, but they're not being smart. But I need to go back and look at who the artist is, because every single action sequence that you can think of was amazing. Like literally, I'm thinking in my head the whole time. I'm singing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song in the back of my head because they're doing it. They're like putting their hands up. Dragon Zord. Nice. They're calling for all the Dragon Zords. They're combining Zords and stuff. We get a new Zord. I'll give you, that's a spoiler kind of, but we get a new Zord that we've never seen before. That like I would love to see.
I really gotta catch up with this series.
It's so good. The artist is Marco Renna. It's still like he's been the artist for this whole Mighty Morphin series so far, and he does a great job. And I got to give a shout out to the colorist Sharon Marino, because the colors literally, it's Power Rangers. Colors make it, you know. So
absolutely,
Sharon Marino is doing a beautiful job with the colors in this. So yeah, Mighty Morphin, my number 2 pick for the week, because it's just.
Hey, yo, man, I absolutely believe you, because I've been catching up with Power Rangers from the very beginning. I want to say about a week more, and I'll finally be caught up to where you are right now. Yeah. But I have enjoyed every single aspect of the Power Rangers universe and the Power Rangers comics, all of them. The action sequences, the fights are just top notch, man, and they really feel like a team. Like what I remembered as a kid, I get that in every issue that I read, and then some. So I can't wait to catch up and be able to actually, you know, talk about it, because who knows, man, it might have been my number 2 or number 1 pick had I been able to actually read it. But I'm stacking up, you know, I'm stacking up all of the issues, and I can't wait, man, to like dive into it.
Next week, the Power Rangers, so it's split up between Mighty Morphin as one title and then Power Rangers as another title. So next week, Power Rangers comes out. So hopefully you're caught up, because I'm thinking maybe it might be up there. So
yeah,
nice.
That's my next series that I'm gonna dive into and try to read. You guys know that I recently completely caught up with Something's Killing the Children from Boone.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the next thing was gonna be Once in Future, but as Carlos knows, I had a roadblock. But it will happen, and Mighty Morphin is gonna be one of the next things that when I get a little bit of side cash, I'm gonna try to get those trade paperbacks and catch up, because I've been wanting to for a while and just been putting it off and watching Manny review them and watching Manny pick up the covers and then being like, I really want this. I got too many books this week.
It's funny because in 2016, when the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series started, I remember thinking, you know, it's like, I'm just gonna collect it for like maybe the first little spark, and then that's it. And then
5 years later,
not a big deal. And yeah, 2016, that's 6 years? 6 years later, I'm still collecting. Or holy crap, I'm still collecting it, and I can't stop, won't stop.
No, I heard everyone that reads it says it's a great series.
It is.
I like how they split it into 2 series. Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin. That allows you to get like double the amount of like story, and they're 2 different stories, right? But right now, isn't there like a story? There's like a crossover event.
It continuously goes and crosses. Like you got like 2 different storylines happening, but it's all meshed together with the same.
I just want them to jump into like Zeo or something already.
That's what I think is going to happen. That's my prediction.
Because they had the whole Mighty Morphin series, and they have these 2 series that are still about Mighty Morphin, even though you get the Omega Rangers.
Yes. But
so
I will say, I'm caught up enough to say that the Omega Rangers are absolutely fucking dope. They are the coolest Rangers ever, the coolest suits ever. They're badass. 10 out of 10. No other Rangers are ever gonna beat the Omega Rangers. Everything about them.
Isn't there like 100%. Another Green Ranger too?
Maybe.
No.
I don't want. Like I said, I don't want to spoil anything. So.
But yeah, man.
But yeah, I think it's a cool looking series. It's something that I've been like, dude, I'm obsessed with the show. I even when I got a little bit like when I was older, like at the end of high school, like around 2012 when they were kind of making like shitty Power Rangers, I still tried to give them a shot every like season that came out and be like, can it recapture? And like you had stuff like SPD and RPM. I don't know if you watched them.
Stop.
Why? They like gave me a little bit of like
RPM is horrible.
RPM is not horrible. It's like a post-apocalyptic zombie movie. It's awesome.
Do me a favor, everybody that's watching this, pause this, go open another tab, go listen to the RPM theme song, and then comment, come back to this video, comment, Nick, you're wrong. Because they're horrible. It's bad.
Yeah, but the Zords are cool.
No.
The premise of like crazy scientists experimenting on people is cool.
I will say that it did establish before the comics. It did establish a different universe. The RPM universe is outside of the Mighty Morphin universe. So
yeah.
Well, they dived into like crazy like alternate future stuff, like with SPD and with Time Force.
Yeah, no, I don't want to get too deep into it because you still need to do your number one.
My favorite series is In Space, and I hope they eventually get there.
They should.
Dude,
I have high hope.
Nick, give us an indie book, man, for your number one pick. Come on.
I didn't get any indie books, remember? I didn't get any.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It sucks, but Buffy would have been in that top 3. I'm almost positive based off the last issue. All right, so pick. This is my number one pick, guys. Number one pick. All right. We're going for it. It is a DC book. All right. Issue 2 of Batgirls.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, another one. All my picks are things that are on the bottom of Manny's list. This book was fantastic. It's only the second issue of the series, and it's already going to be top 10 of the year. As a series. It is
okay. All right.
As a series, not a single issue, but this issue just builds off the first one. First off, is it Jorge Corona or George Corona?
Jorge. Yeah.
Jorge. Dude, his art is phenomenal. This gave me serious vibes for
Manny can't contain himself. Manny can't contain himself.
So the Me You Love in the Dark. I hate you, Manny. Gave me serious vibes from that. I love the artwork. I love the story. I love the relationship between the 3 Batgirls and like how they're like just so carefree and fun, and like they all have very different personalities, and they're all serve like a thematical role in the series, and they build off of each other, and they create. Like they are creating the storyline as it goes. Like it's not like there's something that they're going towards. There's no like major overline. There like kind of is an overlying plot that like they're aiming towards, but basically it's just them being crazy and being themselves is propelling the story forward. Like, oh look, that must be the, and they go in that like it's the character development that's really like propelling the story forward, and I love it. That's why it's my number one pick of the week. Manny, let me hear it.
What? Well, first of all, I want to say you guys are making me seem like I hate Jorge Corona. I do not. I love his art. I love if you like Middle West. If you ever read that, I love that. The Me You Love in the Dark. The art was amazing. He should not be doing artwork for superheroes. It doesn't flow correctly in my eyes. I don't see it. It's still the same artwork, like you said, but it doesn't fit in the superheroes world.
I feel like it fits these characters perfectly.
Then you said it yourself. They're carefree. They're just doing their own story, blah, blah, blah. Like literally this one ends, spoiler alert. This one ends with Stephanie being an idiot. Like Barbara said, hey, do not do any tech, don't have anything like this because we're being chased by this very smart person that rivals my computer skills. So stay away from tech. And Stephanie's like, all right, yeah, cool, but I'm gonna also take pictures of myself and immediately become brainwashed. So like she's literally moving the story forward because she didn't want to follow the rules, and Cass saves it 100%. This story would not be anything without Cass because she barely talks, but when she talks, you listen, and that's all you really need. Barbara, okay, my final thing on hate on this book. Barbara is smart enough. This is wildly too smart, but smart enough to say, "Oh, the Saints are following the ghost of Simon Saint. That must be the seer." Like, how did you jump to that conclusion from that? It doesn't make
because Seer's been messing with her this entire time. That's the whole point of it.
But like you said, they ran into the Saints. The Saints didn't find them. They ran into the Saints. So it doesn't make sense that they chased
them
down.
But the Saints were like, look, we're just scouring.
I'm just saying.
Whatever.
And then
I like these new characters. I like these new villains. I thought they were interesting.
She's smart enough to like jump to that conclusion, but she's not smart enough to be like, oh yeah, they're not using the mopeds. They have their own car. Like, come on. Like, she knows. She has to know that they have a car. Like, she has to. But and she also is making me feel old. She's making me feel old with the Jackie Chan references. That's old. That's an outdated reference, and I realized that, and now I'm an old man. So I hate it. I hate this book.
This book is one of my favorite books. There are so many just hilarious moments that I'm getting out of this book, and I feel like their chaotic energy just again fits the overall art style of Jorge Corona. And yes. And I love that we are getting some serious like Batgirl like bonding and you know like basically like family time, man. We don't get enough of that. Yes, they're going out and you know, taking down villains. They're going up against crime. There is this overarching storyline, like you mentioned, Nick. But the moments that I enjoy the most are when they're just like hanging out, dude, in their place.
Right. It's great. It's a good series.
Yo, when Babs talked about how the fact that there's 3 Batgirls, and this is one of the things that it's one of the things that we've mentioned, you know, in our chat, and that's just been mentioned in general. And it was hilarious how she brought up the topic. It was just a good laugh, man. There are I
don't know why and when they ever dropped the code names.
I think it's just because
it's never really mentioned like
book, so they had to like do that little joke, right? So,
but like they mentioned it a while ago that they're the Batgirls, but like it's never formally said like, hey, let's just forget that we have our own code names. They never, but like here they act like they don't have
their own thing,
code names that they could like. You can't call her Orphan. You can't call her
is
freaking spoiler
about your number 1 pick. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I can say whatever. I got tons of stuff. I can talk shit about anything. Carlos, what's your number 1 pick of the week?
My number 1 pick of the week is, and this is why, yes, I am wearing a Batman shirt again. I'm like Manny right now. I'm not a Batman fanboy. I hate Batman.
Batman socks and underwear.
Yeah, like Batman is the worst hero ever. He's trash, but I have a bunch of Batman comics, so I'm gonna be like Manny right now. But my number 1 pick was Robin and Batman.
Saw that coming.
Hands down, one of
mile away.
One of the best. Not even like Batman comics, but this truly is a Robin storyline. And I absolutely love the exploration that we get of Dick Grayson and why he is the way that he is, how he views himself in the Bat family, and where his hope and his inspiration comes from. Because like I mentioned before, he doesn't want to become like Bruce. He doesn't want to become Batman. He doesn't want to be overtaken by that darkness, right? And this book really does an awesome job at exploring, you know, where that mentality comes from. And I've mentioned that I've been wanting to read more small scale Batman storylines or Batman stories, and you get that with Robin and Batman. The dialogue, the pacing is spot on. I'm really sad that Jeff Lemire is, going to be going away from DC. But if there's a book,
Swamp Thing,
yeah, for sure. But if there's a title for him to, finish off his time for now at DC, I'm really glad that we got this Batman book. And there are some really heartfelt moments between Dick and Bruce and Alfred. And the ending to the book just leaves a smile on your face, man. You really do see Dick embrace every aspect of who he is, from his family, from being Robin, from even Bruce. He just puts all that together, accepts who he is, and really just shines as a hero. It's one of the best Robin stories that I've read, and this book proves why Dick Grayson is the best Robin, will always be the best Robin, and no one's ever gonna come close to him ever.
Tim Drake's the best Robin.
That's why this is my number one pick.
All right, I'm hopping on this. Okay, normally we like to label Manny as the villain of the group. He normally gets to be the person that shits on everyone else's opinion. I'm here to do that today and say this book is completely unnecessary and unneeded, unwarranted, and we did not need this title. It might have been good. It could have been great. There was no reason for another Batman title that wasn't even concurrent. It wasn't a black label. It was completely just put out during the normal label. So it just doesn't exist. Is it canon? Is it not canon? I don't care. I don't need 35 Batman books. And I was reading all the Batman books at one point. They're solid. They're solid. They're great.
That you said, I absolutely agree. We did not need this book at all. We don't need 80% of the Batman books that we have, but that does not mean that this was not an absolutely amazing story. And
yeah, but some of the best. They could have done it at any other time. If they'd done it 2 years ago, I would have thought it was great. But right now, with the overabundance of Batman, I just think this was just, hey, the movie's coming out, and people love the Titans show. Let me get Jeff Lemire to write a really engaging story about Batman and Robin, and we'll throw it out here right before the movie's set to come out later this year. And people will eat it up, and then we can put trade paperbacks out right before the movie comes out, and they'll buy it all up. It's just a cash grab. They use Jeff Lemire to make it good, but it was a cash grab.
Everything that you're saying still zero weight, zero bearing on whether the fact that the book was good. Zero. What you're saying,
I bet you it's great. I just have very sour taste towards this title specifically because it is the latest title to come out. That's I'll say the same thing about Robins. Robins is a waste of time. I dropped it. I'm done.
Nick
I can't. I picked up Itchy by accident.
Nick, you are the villain today. 100%.
I am the villain. I'm sorry.
The day's not done.
Off your shoulders.
That's right. The day's not done. Manny, what's yours?
Let me go with my number one here. All right. I have never cared too much about this family. And in my book reading order, it was the 9th book out of 12. And I usually put my reading order of first one that I'm going to read is the one I'm most excited about. And the last one is I don't care. It's going to be the end. It's whatever. So this was the 9th book in my reading order. And 2 pages in, I was like, this is my number one pick of the week. And that's Fantastic Four. I forget what issue. I think it's issue number 39. The cover has nothing to do with what the actual story is about.
I hate that.
I hate that.
But it kind of has something to do with it, but it not 100%. And just a quick summary of what the story is. There is a kid named Bentley who was part of the Fantastic Four's trip throughout the cosmos to create the cosmos and all that, to create universes. Bentley is the clone of the Wizard. The Wizard is trying to take custody of Bentley as a kid. He's like, this is my son, and I need him back. And he's trying to not only do that, but then he's like, you know what, the Fantastic Four shouldn't have their kids either. The Thing just adopted 2 kids, and he's like, I'm going to take those kids away, like not him himself, but they shouldn't be parents. All the Fantastic Four shouldn't be parents. And this whole book is just about family, and it's amazing. Like Dan Slott does a great. I know he gets a lot of hate, but he does a great job.
No problem with Dan Slott. I'll defend Dan Slott until the day I die.
He is doing an amazing job. There's a little part where the wizard tries to make the parents Reed and Sue look bad, because he's like, look, their son Franklin has gone through so much trauma that he needs to go to therapy now. And Franklin's like on the podium or whatever. He's like, first of all, that's a stupid argument. Therapy is not a bad thing. If you need therapy, you need to take. And my parents saw that I needed the therapy, and they got the help that I needed. So like that was really great to hear. And then they also went deep into what his therapy session was about, and like how he feels, because he lost all his powers. So like how he feels like he needs to live up to something, but he can't live up to it anymore. Then on the side note, we got Johnny Storm, who he just got an upgrade in his power thanks to Doom. And it's an upgrade, but not really, because he's continuously on fire, and he just can't be stopped. So first thing he thinks of is, I'm going to go into the water. Water beats fire. That's what he says. Like literally, water beats fire. I'm going to go into the water. And he jumps in there, and he's continuously burning, and he kills so much life.
But wouldn't that create landmass?
I don't know. But who shows up? Namor. Namor's like, get the fuck out of my water. Like, what are you doing here? Like, because Namor knows what's happening, and he's like, I told you I don't want you in my territory. Get out. So he gets out.
And he's like, you can't have my sister. You can't have my sister.
Whenever he did that, I was like, why didn't he just go up to space? You can't have fire in space, so why don't you do that?
There's plenty of on fire space characters in Marvel.
A couple of pages later, he says, I'm going to go to space. So he goes to space, and he's like, oh my God, I'm still on fire. Like, that doesn't help. So like, he's just like continuously trying to get this power away from him, but he can't figure it out. And then finally, I want to just say, like, the Thing with his storyline, I forgot his wife's name, Alicia.
I think so.
I want to say it's Alicia, but they just adopted 2 kids, and that their whole dynamic is beautiful. Like, again, if you really like emotional, family-oriented stories, like Fantastic Four, it started off pretty rough, but it's a great book.
When did you start reading Fantastic Four? Yeah. I feel like it was never in your pull list.
I've had it since number 1.
Really?
Yeah. So I forget because it's a monthly title, and it's been like 2 months since it last come out. So I always forget that it's such a good book, and every time I read it, I'm like, this is a great book. This is amazing. So that's why it's my number.
They're leading to an event, right?
Yeah, Reckoning War, which it's something else. They didn't even touch on it on this one, but it's a story coming up.
Disappointing moment of the week. So guys, this could be anything from a panel to artwork to an entire book to something that was mentioned, an announcement. It can be anything in the world and reality that is comic book collecting. This is where we will, most likely make someone upset. With that, if we make you upset, just hit the like button and to really let me know that you hate us.
Yeah.
With that being said, these guys are gonna hate me because I talk about this so much. My disappointing moment of the week is the artwork in Darkhawk issue 5.
This ongoing feud.
What did you expect? It's Darkhawk.
Mr. Juanon Ramirez, if you're watching this right now, can you please unblock me on Twitter? I do like this guy's artwork. There's so many panels in here. There's a huge splash page, like a full splash page, which I sent to you guys. Incredible. It is amazing. I love Darkhawk. I love Darkhawk. I love the original Darkhawk. I like this new character and his backstory with having MS. that he's that he's going to be a college athlete. I like how he got like a scholarship to go to the same college that Spider-Man goes to. I like how he's becoming really good friends with Miles. Like that's in the last 3 issues, Miles has been in the last 3 issues.
Oh man.
Fantastic. I love it, but the artwork jumps back and forth between being bad and good way too often, and that's why it's my disappointing moment of the week.
All right.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just because art, I really do. Like, I do read and judge books by their cover and stuff like that. So that sucks.
My disappointment of the week is the fact that Spider-Man is getting relaunched with a new #1. Man, like you'd think that by now, we'd already get used to it, and it's just part of comic book collecting or whatever with relaunches and new #1s. But I'm just really upset that there's going to be probably 15, 20 covers. And out of all of those 15, 20 covers, there's absolute cash grab. But out of all of those, it's going to work because I know that there's going to be some covers that are going to come out that, I'm not going to be able to live without.
There's going to be a Scotty Young. There's going to be a Peach Momoko.
Absolutely. 100%. And the book is going to be either $5.99 or it's going to be $6.99. And I don't know. I
almost got no right charging $6.99 for the shitty quality paper.
And I've just really been wanting some consistency in the Spider-Man storyline, in Peter's overall like development. I just want something ongoing, right? And this new world. Yeah, which is fine, but I was hoping that something big was going to come out of Beyond, and now Beyond, again, I could be wrong about this, but now Beyond is starting to feel like, I don't know, some more like filler. And I've mentioned this before, I hate using that word, but Beyond is now starting to feel more like a filler to get us to that relaunch, to get us to that new #1, the new Nothing's Gonna Be the Same. And the teaser for the relaunch has like the headline of what did Peter do?
What did Peter do?
Yeah, and it has him with his suit all messed up, basically on his knees with a very frightened, grieving look. And I don't know. I just hope it doesn't turn into one of those nothing's ever going to be the same, and we don't get some good storylines out of it. So I don't know. I'm just upset with, again, the relaunch. I really like the fact that we were, getting near 100 issues. Here's another. Yeah, it is what it is. But anyways, that's my disappointment for the week. Who knows? This could be great. We could get a really solid Spider-Man run, but initially I'm a little hesitant, and yeah, I don't know.
And I know that JRR like gets a lot of love for his Spider-Man art, but like his art just in general is not good. The reason his Spider-Man art is passable, in my opinion, is because it's a mask. It's a mask. You don't get the face, but he's gonna draw people around him. He's gonna draw Mary Jane around
This is
him.
my argument with Darkhawk. This is literally you have the same exact argument as me.
It's bad, and I'm not looking forward to buying it because I'm gonna buy it.
Just don't look like they're covered in soot, like they just dropped out of London in the 1940s, and they're covered in freaking soot.
Yeah, they got all these lines on it. Like it's disappointing. 100% disappointing.
What do you got, Manny?
My disappointment is honestly, I got 2 disappointments, which kind of are the same. I mean, one that's not really that big of a deal is the cover B for Batgirls was changed.
Batgirls.
I'm disappointed because I really wanted that cover, and then they made it into a ratio 1:5, and that's the cover right here that I'm showing right now. I wanted this cover. It looks really nice. It's really awesome, but then they changed it to a 125, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $25 for this. So
and we got this,
and then
instead
that's
of that.
the B cover now. But my main disappointment, a little bit, just a tiny bit more, was the plot for Devil's Reign Superior 4. Not great.
Really?
Not great. I did not. It's not even on my top 5, man. Like it's just, it has nothing to do with Devil's Reign whatsoever. It's its own little plot thing.
It's a tie-in. It's a spin-off. He got the building.
A tie-in to Devil's Reign that has nothing to do with Devil's Reign.
In the events of Devil's Reign, he goes into the Baxter building and he reaches out, and these are the events that transpire after he does that.
That has
in the
nothing
Devil's
to
Reign
do
book.
with what Devil's Reign is about. It's his own storyline. It's the Dark Ox's own storyline for what he wants to do with the multiverse, and he wants to be important. And I get that. Whatever, man. I don't know. I just felt like this is not the time. Superior 4, like it.
He also references that he knows that he was Superior Spider-Man.
That was the other thing. Yeah, like, does he know?
I thought he didn't know, but he clearly referenced it.
Yeah,
in this event, blatantly said it out loud.
Exactly, but he doesn't know what exactly happened. Like he doesn't know the events that happened, but he knows that he took over.
It's a fog that he has,
which is dumb. Like, what do you know? And I did like the characters. I did like seeing Howler or whatever, whatever his name, Howlet. Yeah, there you go. Howlet, Wolverine / Doc Ock. That was cool. 6-arm Hulk. That was kind of cool.
Ghost Rider was the funniest one.
But at the end of the day, by the time I got reading it, it's just so like the dialogue is so much. He just loves to talk. And this wasn't needed. This has nothing to do with Devil's Reign. It's his own story. If you would have named it Superior 4, I would have never bought it. But you named it Devil's Reign Superior 4. That's the only reason I bought it.
Yeah, but there's 3 issues. It could potentially tie in fully.
You're right. But this issue, disappointment.
Dude, I mean, you know what? And I think the most disappointing thing was that like neither one of us told you or said, hey, you probably shouldn't buy this book, you know?
Yeah. Like it's
I wanted you to suffer.
Wait. I did say that. Yeah.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No.
I did.
Well, no, that doesn't count because you say that about all tie-ins.
Yeah,
you say that about every single tie-in ever. And then
back me up.
Mr. Tie-in hater over here.
I buy a lot of tie-ins, but you buy every tie-in. You gotta look into
what is it that what was it on your top list? A tie-in? A Doctor Strange.
No. I've never said buy no tie-ins. I've never said buy no tie-ins. I'm saying
tie-ins don't even tie in. Like you know that getting into this, it's Marvel. They're just cash grabbing you. Like most of the time, they don't matter. Sometimes they do, and it's great. That's the good ones. Like you should just know at this point that you should expect disappointment and then not be disappointed because you bought a tie-in.
Absolutely not.
We're moving on.
Yeah, what is your best cover?
Covers of the week, guys. This is the segment where we talk about our favorite covers of the week. There could be things that we didn't buy, things that we really wanted. I like to personally stick with my favorite cover out of my pull list. That's how I personally am going to do this for the foreseeable future. And that's going to be the cardstock cover variant for issue 11 of The Joker.
That's pretty cool.
Really cool cover.
That's pretty cool.
Almost made it. The issue itself almost made it to the disappointment of the week.
Damn.
You've had nothing bad to say about this, and now out of nowhere,
story's great. The way Barbara Gordon was drawn in here made me want to throw up for like an hour and a half. But besides that, cardstock cover was awesome. That's all I gotta say. Carlos.
Cool. My top cover for the week actually happens to be Manny's disappointment of the week. Although, and that's Batgirl's number 2, the 1-in-25 ratio variant by, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, Hicham Habchi. And this cover, it's awesome. It's peak Batgirls. It's peak Steph and Cass hanging out. It's just cool pose, cool idea. A great cover. Yeah, that's my cover of the week.
Manny's turn.
And then I choose my covers just like you. Like, yeah, I have to have bought it, or like I'm gonna plan to buy it before I choose. I'm not gonna just say like, oh, best one is this thing that I've never even read or never even thought about, but it's the best looking cover for the week. So for me, it was a Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, number 3. This cover, the yellow behind it is beautiful.
This is the regular cover.
Yeah, regular cover with where she's like shooting a whole bunch of circus members. The story has to deal with like her fighting the circus, or the I don't know how to pronounce this word, the chapiteau or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful cover, and it shows her skill. It has the trick arrow with the glove, the POW, so that's pretty cool. And you know, I just saw that Lucky the dog's not in it, so that's a negative on it. But it is.
I gotta say real quick, just because you chose this cover, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye Kate Bishop almost made it into my top 3. I just want to say that, it's a really fun comic, and I've been enjoying it. I debated putting it as my number 3 pick, so it was up there as a contender. But yeah,
I'm gonna throw this in as a quick honorable mention. It's something that I really want to give a little bit of spotlight, but didn't make it as my top pick for cover and everything. The last issue of Marauders was phenomenal.
It was a good issue.
It was a good issue.
It was a good issue.
And I know it didn't make it into my list, but I wanted to give it a little bit of credit for what it did. It's one of the longest running of the newer X-Men titles to now be restarted. And it's been good the entire run. Some of them still that are ongoing right now are dog shit. But Marauders, solid run. Excited for the new title. And with that being said, guys, we will be talking about what we're picking up next week. Without a doubt, cover is going to be Ben Reilly, Spider-Man, Scotty Young. 100% is going to be my cover of the week. Unless I hate it in person. And then probably my pick of the week, it's going to be a real close like run between Nightwing 88 and potentially Hulk 3. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Donny Cates has a hold on me, dude. It's like a collar around the neck, like he's dragging me through the dirt. But yeah, Carlos, what about you?
I think that my top pick of the week is gonna be Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, number 7. I think that is the comic to beat next week. Now, which comic am I the most excited for? I have to say that it's a tie between Supergirl and Silk number 1. I love Silk. Like I just love Silk. And I'm hoping that this new number 1, this new series is going to be good, and it's going to be fun. And we're just going to get a lot of, awesome Cindy Moon action. But I think that the book to beat and the best book next week is going to be Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, number 7. Now, the book that might beat it, though, because I do want to throw in not an honorable mention, but a book that I think might take the spot is going to be Primordial number 5. So yeah, man. Like, don't pay attention to Manny. His opinion means nothing here. Primordial has been phenomenal. Some of the coolest sci-fi that
without anything actually happening.
Without not much really happening. It's just an awesome, solid book. So yeah. And you know what? Next week is going to be such a good week for me. There's so many books that I'm excited for, but I think that those 3 are definitely my top picks. Manny, what do you got?
You might actually have an indie book on your top next week. Huh, look at that. Oh, congratulations.
I might have a couple, actually. I might have
the villain.
So looking at my top, or not my top, but looking at my my next week's pick, you stole it. You stole it. I thought it was going to be Supergirl, but like looking at the other titles, Moon Knight is definitely a contender. It's just been really good.
Yes.
Animal Castle is another one that's just brutal. Like it's just everything about that story is just sad and emotional and like just negative feelings, but in a good way. I guess you could say it's a good storytelling.
It's compelling, cover, right? Very compelling.
Yeah, exactly. And the cover is good. It's like I am a sucker for like just a white background cover, so
yep.
I'm excited to see that. Bolero is coming out, so I don't know if that's going to be one of my top picks, but it is a new book, so it might be a contender. But if I can't choose Supergirl because you stole it, I'm gonna say Moon Knight probably, or Power Rangers, or Seven Secret. Oh my God, there's so many good books.
So many books coming out next week.
That's what I'm saying though. Next week is going to be insane because Moon Knight was actually also one of the ones that I was going to mention, but it's just been so damn good that it wouldn't be a surprise if that makes sense, you know. But yeah,
so now we're just gonna show the updated brackets here.
After this week, and yeah, what do you guys think is gonna be our pick of the weeks? What is gonna be your pick of the week next week? What are you most excited for? Leave a comment. Talk to us. Let us know.
What did we miss? What did we miss?
What is something that you want us to talk about?
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Drop a like, drop a comment. Remember to please subscribe and follow all our other social medias. My name is Nick. That's Carlos.
Guys.
That's Manny. That's Carlos, and that's Manny. This is the weekly rundown for January 12th, 2022. Remember to stay tuned for next week's episode and to check out all the other videos on these accounts. Thank you guys so much.
Guys, thank you so much.
Sayonara.
Take care.
Yes. See you later.